Start with this from News Channel 5 here in Nashville. A bill that would allow some Tennessee teachers to carry a gun at school is heading to Governor Bill Lee's desk. HB 1202, SB 1325 has drawn heavy attention from parents, teachers, students, and law enforcement. The bill would allow specially trained teachers to carry handguns in their classrooms. Under the bill, parents would not know whether their child's teacher was armed or not. This bill has been on hold for about a year. Originally, it was introduced by Representative Ryan Williams and Senator Paul Bailey in January. Movement on the bill stalled when the Senate Judiciary Committee abruptly closed after the Covenant school shooting that left 6 dead, including 3 9-year-olds. In the aftermath, lawmakers battled over whether to take up any gun-related bills. Ultimately, Republicans said any gun bill following the Covenant shooting was too emotionally charged. That stoked the fire for the Tennessee 3, where 3 Democratic lawmakers stood on the House floor in protest of gun violence, as you may remember. But Democrats are very upset about this bill. Representative Justin Jones said, "This bill is insane. For God's sake, you don't hear. You should be ashamed. You hold our state at gunpoint. May democracy see you out of your seats." This guy, who talks like that? No one talks like that. No real human talks like, "May democracy see you out of your seats, sir." The hell does that even mean? Other Democratic lawmakers were worried about liability and insurance costs for school districts if teachers were carrying weapons. Others worried this plan would create more collateral damage, that this bill would give a, quote, pop gun to go up against a weapon of war. Representative Bo Mitchell said, "This is what we're going to do in reaction to teachers and children being murdered in a school. Our reaction is to throw more guns at it. What's wrong with us?" Now we'll get into this issue, of course, in a moment, but I also want to read through the requirements that must be fulfilled in order for a teacher to carry a gun, because they're not just going to hand guns out to any teacher that wants one. So here it is. For those teachers wanting to carry a gun in school, it is a multi-step process. Teachers wanting to carry will have to have, 1, written authorization from the principal, the superintendent, and the head of law enforcement in their city or county. 2, complete 40 hours of basic training in school policing and 40 hours of post-commission approved training that is specific to school policing each year to keep the authorization. 3, must obtain a background check. And 4, undergo a psychological exam conducted by a Tennessee licensed psychologist. So those are the requirements. I think those are good requirements. They make sense. But still, as we've heard, Democrats were very upset, very performatively upset, which is the only way that they're ever upset about anything is performatively. So one of the ways of communicating their sadness over this bill, it was to stage a die-in, as they call it, which they call it a die-in, but it's a very convenient kind of protest because it allows you to take a nap during the workday and call it a political demonstration. So let's take a look at some of the footage of this die-in here. Yeah, so they're just napping is what they're doing. They're just taking a nap. It's like nap time at kindergarten. We're just missing the alphabet rug. All right. And they're strewn all over the floor there. Well, now obviously this is proof yet again that our politics is dominated by cringy theater kids and other nerds desperate for attention. Like, I wish we could go a month without some politician somewhere staging some kind of elaborate performance that only succeeds in proving what kind of a useless dork that politician is. I wish we could go a month, but we can't. As to the issue itself, obviously we should let teachers carry guns if they want to and if they're trained and if they're approved. This argument that somehow a school shooting is made worse by having other armed people there is insane. I mean, you always hear this nonsense. You know, this, you can't help the situation by adding more guns. We're going to add more guns? We think that's going to solve something? Like, as if we're just dumping a box of guns into the middle of the classroom. That's what, when you say add more guns, that's what it sounds like. We're just throwing guns into the room. That's not what's happening. What's happening? We're adding a person who is armed. That's what we're adding to the equation. So here's the question. I think this is really the only question that matters, or at least it is the first question and the most important question that we should ask. And it's this. If a bad guy with a gun comes into the school and walks into your kid's classroom, is it better? Is it preferable that the bad guy, the psychopath mass murderer, is the only one armed in the room? Is that better? Is that a better situation? Will you take solace in the knowledge that at least the mass killer is the only one with a gun? Is that better than having someone else there who is also armed? Do you want all of the potential victims to be helpless and defenseless? Is helplessness and defenselessness a superior alternative? Really? Now, if you answer yes to any of those questions, then you're just a maniac. I don't know what to say. You're insane. It's an insane position to take. Obviously, it's better if there's someone if there's a bad person, if there's a crazy killer in the classroom with a gun. Clearly, it's better if at least someone else there also has a gun. Like it can't make. How could it make the situation worse? This is the worst case situation that you're facing. It can't get worse than that. It's 2024, and if you're still spending your money with woke companies, well, cut it out. There are a lot of great companies out there that aren't shoving diversity and inclusion initiatives down the throats of their employees or their customers. Maybe you're already doing business with some of those companies. That's great. Maybe you're boycotting companies who have made headlines by acquiring the latest trans influencer as their spokesperson. Even better. But have you given much thought to where your money is currently invested? A lot of big wealth management companies make billions of dollars investing your money however they want, wherever they want, even if that means investing in businesses who don't care about your values. Align your portfolio with your principles today with my friends at Constitution Wealth. Constitution Wealth is the Patriot's choice in wealth management. They'll help you build a solid investment plan while reducing your investments in the ESGs and DEIs, companies that care more about global warming and diversity ratios than they do about your return on investment. And with Constitution Wealth, you can start using your shareholder votes to support conservative action. Fight the culture war with your most valuable weapon, your investments. Help build a parallel economy by working with an investment firm composed of professionals who are patriots like you. Go to constitutionwealth.com/Matt and sign up for a free consultation today. That's constitutionwealth.com/Matt. And don't tell me, because this is the other answer that I hate. Where you say, well, school shootings shouldn't happen in the first place. You know, that's what, this is a false choice. What I choose is that the school shootings won't happen. I choose for there to be no school shootings in the first place. You know, that's my brilliant plan. Yes, well, I prefer that too. Genius. That would very much be my own preference. If someone gave me a choice between there being school shootings and there not being school shootings, I would choose the latter very quickly. Okay, if there was a magical button that I could press to make school shootings just not happen in the first place, I would prefer that over the option of having armed teachers that are fighting the bad guys. But that's not a choice that exists. That magical button doesn't exist. I don't have that choice. You don't have that choice. We prefer if school shootings don't happen, but they do. And what then? What do we do when the thing that shouldn't happen does happen? And this is a question, even if we passed every gun law, every gun control law that the left wants, which we shouldn't pass any of them. But even if we did, every law they want, we pass. Let's just say that we do. School shootings can still happen. Okay, unless you confiscate and destroy every gun on planet Earth and also somehow prevent any more from being produced in the future, which is impossible. Anything short of that, school shootings can still happen. And so we're still left with the same question, which is, what happens if it does? What then? The guy with the gun comes into the classroom. Yeah, he shouldn't be there. It is illegal. He's already broken 50 laws just by walking in with a gun in the first place. It shouldn't happen. It's a terrible thing that it is happening, but it's happening. And so what then? What is the best way to respond in that situation? Obviously, having someone there who's prepared to defend themselves and the lives of the children is preferable. even if it doesn't work. Like, it's better than nothing. Having some ability to fight back is better than having no ability, right? I mean, do you apply this kind of logic to anything else in your life? Do you refuse to wear a seatbelt out of principle because car accidents shouldn't happen? You know, if someone told you to put your seatbelt on, would you say, no, I'm not going to put it on. I'm just not going to have a car. I don't plan on having a car accident. I disagree. I disagree with car accidents. I don't think they should happen. Like, if I tell you to put your seatbelt on, is that because I'm pro car accidents? Am I some sort of like part of the car accident lobby? Is that what this is? Do you refuse to lock your front door at night on the basis that burglary shouldn't happen? Well, they shouldn't happen, but they do. And what happens when they happen? Do you walk downstairs and see the burglar and say, "Excuse me, burglar, do you realize you're not supposed to be doing this? This is not supposed to happen. Sir, I would like to inform you that I prefer it if you did not burglarize my property. That's what I prefer." How's that going to work out? What's going to, what, maybe the burglar will say, "Oh, really? You didn't want me to burglarize your, I didn't, I'm not supposed to do this? You mean I don't sneak it into your house in the middle of the night with the ski mask and all that? You don't want that. Oh, you don't? Okay, well, let me just put your TV back and I'll be on my way." No, that's. I mean, I guess that could happen, but it's probably not going to happen. And that's why you need to be prepared to deal with the worst case situation, because the worst can happen and does happen and will happen to someone, at least. Maybe not you, but maybe you, and maybe your children. And in that scenario, without another gun in the classroom, without someone else armed in the classroom, when that guy walks in, the guy or girl, as was the case in Covenant, when he or she walks in, the only thing that these kids can do and the teachers can do is like huddle in a corner and hide under their desk. I mean, it's absurd, really. That anyone would want for that to be the only defense mechanism. You want that to be the only defense mechanism that your children have? What the hell is wrong with you? Do you even love your kids? Honestly. Crazy guys in the classroom, you want the only defense mechanism to be a freaking desk? It's crazy to me. It's just insane. I can't even, it's not just crazy, it's like repulsive. Just get over your gun thing. Whatever your problem is with guns, just get over it. Grow up, okay? Because, there are scenarios that are solved with guns. Yes, there are problems that can be solved with guns and with nothing else. School shooter in the classroom, only thing that solves that is a gun. Only thing. Nothing else solves it. Nothing. Thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like to listen to my full podcast on the go, you can check out The Matt Walsh Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.